Hello, this is the Programmer Owl, and today I'm going to talk about how to use the mouse, also known as the trackpad, on your MacBook. Not going to lie, the first time I got a MacBook, it was very overwhelming and a little confusing on how to use the trackpad. It was way different than other laptops that I'd owned. It was different than using an external mouse. And so I had to do some research. And it took me a while to get the feel of the trackpad on a Mac. But now that I know all these tips and tricks, I love the Mac. I love how quick I can access things through the trackpad. And there's some great features that I want to share with you today. So I've created a tip sheet on some different actions. These are just kind of basic actions that will help you in everyday life using your Mac on the trackpad. And I'm also going to provide a link to this in the notes, so if you'd like to use this as a resource, it'll be there for you. So let's begin. Let's talk about how to use this trackpad. So we'll start with something easy. One finger. If you move this finger in any direction, it will move your cursor. So here on this page, it's letting me move the cursor. If I go to my reminders, I'm able to move my cursor anywhere. So this isn't clicking, this is just moving the cursor. If with one finger, if you click, like if I click this plus sign up here, it will let me add something new or add a date. So one click opens up things, lets you click on buttons. Now, if you have two fingers and you go up and down, this will help you scroll pages. And this is my preferred method for scrolling pages, reading websites, and such. And this website right here that I have pulled up is from the Apple site about using multi-touch gestures on your Mac. And I've also provided a link to this resource because it's really awesome. But this is me using two fingers to go up and down. Now, if I go left and right, now this will only work on web pages. If you try to do it with like a Google Docs, it's not going to take you back to the next page. So here's what will happen. If I use two fingers and I go left and right, here's the page I was on before. Now if I go the other way, it gets me back to the page I was on. So left and right lets you go back and forth between web pages. I'll show you here on this page, it's not going to let me do it. So if I go left and right here, nothing is happening because it's a Google Doc sheet. It would work with web pages. Now, this is my absolute favorite feature of the trackpad because it helps me navigate my computer fast. Because I'm often multitasking. I'm usually like listening to music or, emailing people, researching things on websites, filling out spreadsheets or pages or creating documents and pages. So I like to go fast in between each application or program that I have up. Now, I will give you a heads up. This will only work if you are using full screen. So I have pulled up different applications and programs and I've blown them up to full screen. And so when I use three fingers, some people may need to use four, but for me, three fingers works. And I go left and right. It helps me scroll between each one. Now, I'll show you what happens here's my reminders. If I make this smaller, and let's say I also make my music program smaller or minimize it. What will happen is when I scroll, it'll let me kind of go to this last page on my desktop, but as you can see, my reminders is behind and it's not letting me get to it by using the three fingers. I would have to increase it in size to full screen and then I can switch in between. So this is one that I really love. It helps me use my computer a lot faster. Now, one finger, if you double click, it'll select a word. It will also select a picture. And this is a new feature that I've learned about today. This is not my preferred method of zooming in and zooming out, but it is really quick. So if you do 2 fingers and you double click, it zooms in, and if you double click again, it zooms out. My favorite way to zoom in and zoom out is to use the pinch. I use my index and my middle finger, and I have them together at first, and then I separate them, and then I put them back together to zoom back out. So I pull them out, pull them back together. That helps me zoom in and zoom out. And kind of as a picture guide where you can see that is right here, the zoom in and zoom out. Now they're using the thumb and index finger. It really doesn't matter which fingers you use. I prefer my index and middle finger, but you might find that you like using your finger or your thumb and your index finger better. Just depends on your personal preference. And now if you do a 3-finger tap, this one has had some success for me. Sometimes it doesn't have success. It's a really cool feature, but it doesn't always register. So this is towards the end of this video, I'm going to show you how to make changes to the different touch features on your trackpad in settings, how to turn some on, how to change what actions you use to do it, and how to turn some of them off, because there's one feature that I really don't like. This feature where you use 2 fingers to go back and forth between the pages, because I use 2 fingers to scroll up and down, I accidentally sometimes leave a web page that I wanted to stay on. So that's a feature I want to turn off. But let me show you this feature with the 3-finger tap. So we've done a single tap that lets you click and open a website. Now a double tap lets you select like a word or select a picture. Now pictures like this, they're not going to let you select because they're embedded in the page. But if you have like a picture, so if you have a picture like this and you tap it once, like in a Word document, it should allow you to click it and be able to manipulate it. Now with a 3-finger tap, what should happen is that a dictionary and some other features pop up. So I'm going to try to triple tap or 3-finger tap this word secondary. And let's see if it'll be nice to me and work. There we go. Yeah, so what should pop up is dictionary definition, a thesaurus entry, and then towards the bottom, it'll give you some other features like Siri knowledge. It might say Siri suggested websites. You might get some movies, things that show up in the iTunes store, and some other features. So that's a 3-finger tap. It's kind of cool. I don't use it very often, but I do sometimes, like when reading, I might come across a word I don't know, and so I try to use that feature to get to the dictionary. Now, what I'll do to get to the dictionary is I will press Control and then click on the word, and then where it says look up secondary, that's how I bring it up. That seems to work better for me than the triple tap, but that also works. So another really cool feature, and I highly recommend using Mission Control when you are using multiple programs or applications at once. So like if you're listening to music, or you're emailing someone, or working on a spreadsheet, or creating a document, and you have lots of different applications and programs up, it's nice to have this Mission Control as an option to be able to find things that you're looking for. So let's say, let me make these smaller. And so with 4 fingers, what you're going to do, so you're going to have 4 fingers and you're going to swipe up. And up here, you're going to see all the different things you have access to. So like I could go to Safari. If I swipe up with 4 fingers, it shows me again. I could go to numbers if I swipe up with 4 fingers, I could go to my desktop and it'll show me this. But if you saw before, I'll bring that back up. On the desktop, it separated the different things I had because before they were right in front of each other. So I don't really know unless I, tap on that what this thing in the back is. But if I scroll up, it'll show me all the things, even the ones that aren't fully expanded. If they're not showing as full screen, it'll still show me, and I can click between each one that I want, and it'll let me navigate that way. So I really love that feature. And so a few more to talk about. Now with one finger, you can hold and drag and move items. So this one's a little bit more complex, but I'll try to explain it to you as best as I can. So when I hold my finger down and I just drag it, that lets me move it around. And I can move it to whichever location I want. So I just have to click on the item and then keep on holding it while I drag it. So don't let go of your finger until you have it in the right spot. Or if you need to take breaks, put your finger down, click on it, drag and hold, or hold and drag to the area you want it. And then this was the feature that kind of boggled my mind because in previous times when I'd had laptops, I had a trackpad, but they also gave me a left and a right button, so I could right click. And then when I got a MacBook, there would be some times where I'm like, I need to right click on this thing, but it's not letting me because there's no buttons, there's just this trackpad. Well, here's how you do a right click. So say you want to go back to this website or to this page and you want to do some different features with the picture. So if you press the Control button on your keyboard and then you click on that picture, it will pull up another menu. So you could see what are their suggest edits. I could add some information here. If I press Control and I click again, I can copy it and then I could paste it. So all of these are things that I can access when I right click. Now on a regular page, I can click anywhere, or I can press Control and then click anywhere, and it will give me some options for right clicking. Like I could print this page, I could save this page, I could reload the page. So that is how to do a right click. And then another thing that I absolutely love doing is copying and pasting. And so the way that I do that is I hold one finger on the mouse pad. I usually use my left index finger. And then with the right finger, I use this one to move. So on this one, like say I want to copy this where to change settings information. So I'm going to press and hold one finger on the mouse pad, and then I'm going to drag and copy all of this information and then let go. And then I'm going to press Control plus click. I'm going to press copy. And then let's say I want to move that in here. So I could press Control plus click and press paste. Oops. I'm not sure why that's in the way. Yep, but it moved it over there. So that is how you can copy and paste. You hold one finger down, so left index finger you can use or any finger, and you press and hold, and then you just copy whatever you want to copy, and that will let you copy all that you need. So one finger stays steady, holding on the trackpad, and then the other finger, your right index finger or any other finger you want, can move around to copy. The other thing that you would use this for is the scrolling bar. So here I'm going to put my finger, my left index finger, and hold it on the trackpad, and then with my right index finger I'm going to use this little scrolling bar to go up and down. So to move the scrolling bar I have to press and hold with one finger on the trackpad, and then the other finger can move up and down to do the scrolling. Same thing over here. Now sometimes the scrolling bar kind of hides. Let's see. Oops. Yep. So I can press with one finger, keep one steady finger on the trackpad, and then with the other finger move up and down to use the scrolling bar. So this takes 2 fingers to do this option. So we've kind of talked about some of the basic features on how to use the mouse or trackpad on your MacBook. This is the resource website to go to learn other options that you can use. There are more listed here. Some of them I wanted to include, some of them like the Open Notification Center. That was one. I don't really use that. I'm not a big notification center person, but if you get a lot of messages, text messages, calendar updates, and things, you might want to include this in your repertoire. So this is just a great resource to learn more information. And then let's talk about how to change these settings. So where we're going to go to change is we're going to go to the Apple icon in the top left. Then we're going to click on System Preferences, and then we're going to go to Trackpad. And this is also really cool because it gives you kind of a little mini tutorial on how to do it. So like with this one, look up and data detectors. This is the 3-finger tap I was talking about and how it'll pop up information. Now, if that's not working for you, it's not one that works for me, so I'm going to turn that one off. Here they have click with 2 fingers to choose things, tap to click with 1 finger. That's the one I prefer. So I'm going to turn off secondary click and just do tap with 1 finger. So another one that and then this will show you scrolling, zooming in and zooming out with pinching fingers. Smart zoom is what they call the double tap. If you want to rotate pictures, they show you how to do that, and more gestures. So this is the one that I really, really hate, is swiping between pages. This one always takes me off of the page I want to be off of, so I'm going to turn that one off. But let's say swipe between full screen apps. I use 3 fingers, but if you wanted to do it with 4 fingers, you could do it with 4 fingers, but I prefer 3 fingers. So sometimes they'll give you some options with like a little drop down menu on whether if you want to use 3 fingers or 4 fingers to do that. So those are where you can set up those features. Now let's talk about if you want to add an external mouse. Where do you go to set that up? Now if you have a mouse with a USB cord, and I'll show you a picture of that. Mouse with USB cord. Let's see if we can find a good image of that. Yep. So I have a little mini one like this that I sometimes use. And so this little part right here, this little metal part at the end of the black, apparatus or I don't know the technical term for that. I wanted to say toggle. But yeah, at the end of that little piece, there's a little silver metal piece that you plug into the side of your computer. And usually what happens when you connect this to your computer, it will pop up a screen that says, do you want to use this mouse? And you'll follow the directions from there. Now, if you have a Bluetooth one, where you'll go is this Apple icon in the top left, System Preferences, and then you're going to tap on Mouse. And here, I don't have a Bluetooth mouse, but if you had your Bluetooth mouse and you unpackaged it and it was near your computer where it says no mouse found, searching, it would pull up that mouse. So this is where you would go to get that set up. And so just to let you know, I will be including this page in a link in the notes, and I would love to hear your comments, or if you have any questions of further videos you'd like me to do, I would love suggestions for that. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.